قبائل والألوان وألسن، وأشهد أن الله خلق الإنسان وعلمه البيان، وأشهد أيضا أن الله خلق الزمان وقسم الزمان إلى الأعوام، وقسم الأعوام إلى الأشهر، وقسم الأشهر إلى الأصابع، وقسم الأصابع إلى الأيام، وقسم الأيام إلى الساعات، وقسم الساعات إلى الدقائق، وقسم الدقائق إلى الثواني. وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم علم الإنسان وشرح لنا الدين الإسلام. وأشهد أن الرسول لم يترك أي شيء بدون الجواب. وبعد، we meet at a critical juncture in the world history. Those of us who are not very comfortable with English, you are going to forgive me a little bit. I want to be fast, and if I have to speak in Bemba or Nyanja, I want to manage to cover what I have. We meet at a critical juncture in the world history, and we meet at a critical juncture in the history of Islam. And we also meet at a critical juncture in the history of Islam in Zambia. At the world history level, Islam has been tainted. Everywhere you look, Islam is being called names, and it's being brutalized on TVs, on radios, and among ourselves. When you look at the national level, Islam is also at stake. When you look within ourselves as Muslims, Islam also is at stake. Allow me to go a little bit behind so that we start at a good note. For us to be confident Muslims, we have to understand that God, Allah, never created time just for nothing. He created time, and He demarcated time so that we get to know it. He says He created us, and He gave us time so that we get to know each other. We use the time to get to understand ourselves. So He divided time into years. He divided the years into months, and He divided the months into weeks, and He divided the weeks into days. Then the days into hours, hours into minutes, and minutes into seconds. For the simple reason, so that we get to know ourselves. And for us to know ourselves, we have to go back to this time that God divided. Let's take an example for ourselves here in Zambia. For us to know ourselves and to understand ourselves, let's go back a little bit from where we might have started. When Islam was coming into Zambia, way back before 1831, record has it, we had people coming from outside, from the Arab traders and the coastal traders, the Swahili traders, and the Bisa people. They made contact with those people who were coming to Zambia. That's way back in before 1831. When these people came into Zambia, The first contact was made with the Bisa. I'm sure we are all aware and cognizant to where the Bisa people are found here in Zambia. It is a must as a Muslim to know this little history for us to understand ourselves. If we don't know where the Bisa people are found, we better start now, find out where they are found, because that's where we made the first contact with the people who came, who brought Islam to Zambia. When the coastal traders came in, the Arab traders, the Swahili, they made contact with the Bisa. That was way back before 1831. We have to know this so that we get to know ourselves. This will make us be confident, without which we'll never be confident Muslims. That period, we leave it, we go back to another period after independence. Little years before independence, we had some people trooping into Zambia bringing Islam. Those people were now a combination of the Indians, the Asians, let me call them Asians, coming with the colonial masters into Zambia. Not necessarily that they brought Islam, but because some of them were Muslims and they came working under the British. Their first contact was in Malawi. From Malawi, two of those Indians who were working with those British people came to Zambia and settled in Chiwala. Those of us who are very conversant with Lusaka, you know where Chiwala is. They came into Zambia and they got established there. As those activities were happening during the colonial master period, we saw that some people from Malawi, the Yao tribe, trooped into Zambia. When they came into Zambia, the first places they settled were Mongo. Those of us who are very conversant with Mongo, you know where Mongo is. They settled in Mongo, the Yao. Others came because they were working in the mines. They came to settle here in Chiwala. Chiwala has got a very, very important place in the history of Islam in Zambia, because this is one of the first places we made contact with Islam. So the Indians or the Asians claim to have been the first. They were here with the colonial masters. Then the Yaos came after them. The Indians, like I said, not necessarily bringing Islam, but they came because some of them were Muslim. And most especially those two who came from Malawi to Chiwala were Muslim. But the Yaos were Muslims. Not necessarily that they came to work in the mines, but they came with them with Islam. They practiced Islam, which we are now today seeing, because they settled here, and we know Chiwala is a prominent Muslim area. In Mongo, they did not stay long because they were moving. People were looking for jobs. So even those who stayed in Mongo, they all came here in Ndo. In Mongo, those who have recorded history, they said, the example they have given is when you go into Mongo and you ask any person who belongs to that area, you ask them the name Mongo, what does it mean? They don't know because it's not in their language. I don't even know what tribe is in Mongo. Those of us who know the tribe that is in Mongo can help us. Which tribe is in Mongo? Lozi. You ask the Lozi, is the word Mongo part of your Lozi? They'll tell you no, they don't know it. But you ask the Yao, what does the word Mongo mean? They'll tell you it's a Yao word with the origins in Yao. That tells you that they settled there first. Islam is left there. Those who those who want to know some of the traces that were left by Islam, by the Yaos, this is one of them. the word Hmong, which is named after the town Hmong. It's a Yao word. They came with Islam and they practiced Islam there in Hmong. The Indians came, the Yaos came. The Yao came with Islam and they practiced Islam. The Indians, when they came, they were serving the colonial masters. They had nothing to do with Islam, but they were Muslims. That history should make us feel proud that we were here first. When we were mentioning about the coastal traders, this tells us that when Christianity was coming into Zambia, they were not the first. We were first. Islam was first in Zambia way back before the time they tell us that David Livingstone brought Christianity in Zambia. And they want to make us feel inferior, saying we are foreigners. We are not foreigners. When Zambia was getting independence, our Yao brothers were already here. Our forefathers, the Yaos, were already here. They were in Hmong. They made contacts in Hmong. They were here. When Christianity came, they found us here. But the reason why they have even robbed us from the archives is that we never recorded our activities. I want us to stop a little bit on this because I'm going to connect it to the activities that you're doing here. This activity that you're doing here is one of the milestones that we have made. When our forefathers came, they never recorded the activities. They were busy working in the mines. They practiced Islam. And the Islam they practiced was a home-based Islam and a masjid in one of the rooms of the house. That was it. No formal dawah was done like we are doing today. No records were made. Our friends, the Indians, the Asians, when they came, they were busy with the colonial masters. It was business. Whereas us, it was work. And you know, one of the ways in which Islam was spread was by making contacts through working. You go to work, you go to do business with the people and you show the best behavior. That's where people joined into Islam. So, the activities that are happening here today, that you have organized, is a very important, step in our Islamic history in Zambia. When you look backwards, the dawah type that was there was that type of dawah of the house and the masjid type of dawah, where people will go to a sheikh at the house, they'll be taught madrasa there, and they'll be taught everything, and it will end there. Years are passing from independence to now, people are changing. And the very good change that we have seen over the years is that Muslims now have changed. We have taken up the type of dawah that is going outside to the people, not people coming to the places like the house of the masjid. We have this thing that you have organized here today, which no one, and I must repeat, no one took this step before you. You are the first. This type of dawah, where you call people to come, well organized, well documented, is one of those first. We never recorded our dawah activities. We never recorded our Islam. It's never recorded anywhere in history. Let me give you another part of the Islamic history that we have here in Zambia. Those people who were doing the activities, like I said, they never recorded. But unfortunately, the people who recorded our history
Assalamualaikum. Lecture kale ya mbele chen tu kare fe wangu wangu ba sheba se continue na lecture inshallah. Tu kare fe wangu wangu kula bange chongo kale lecture ya mbele.
So we were talking about the history, Islamic history in Zambia, and we have made mention of how Islam entered into Zambia. This is very important because it makes us confident Muslims. At one time the Prophet met a Muslim, and that Muslim looked very sad and broken. The Prophet called him. He said, "You come here. As a Muslim, you should never ever at any time look worried and broken." On another occasion, Omar met some Sahabas who were looking very sad, very lost, no confidence. He called them and said, "Come here. I want to tell you something. You are Muslims and should never ever at any time look lost or without no confidence." And he was asked, "Amir al-Mu'mineen, why are you saying this?" He says, as a Muslim, you should always look confident and strong. And this is one of the reasons why when you go to Makkah, when you're going around the Kaaba, as a Muslim man, you are told to put your right shoulder outside your white cloth that you wear. Not only to show your muscle, but to show confidence. I'm sure you have seen those when they are going around the Kaaba, the way they are dressed. That is not just for something to show off, but that tells you as a Muslim that you should show confidence and you should show the people around you that you are strong. And in another hadith it says, a stronger Muslim, a Muslim who's strong is better than the Muslim who's weak. So a stronger Muslim, a Muslim who's strong is better than a Muslim who's weak. Why are we talking about this hadith? It's taking us back to the confidence that we need to have as Muslims. Without the confidence, then we'll be just as that Muslim who's weak. So we need that confidence. And for us to get that confidence, we should understand where we're coming from. We should understand our own history. We should understand how we got this Islam. We should understand when Islam came here so that it makes us confident and strong. We now know that Islam was first and not Christianity. That alone must make us feel confident, and we should stand confident. Each time we meet those brothers and sisters of ours who are not Muslims, and by the way, Zambia is a Christian nation, we shouldn't look defeated or depressed Because when we do that, we'll be just acting contrary to what the Prophet wanted us to look. He wanted us to look confident. Always as a Muslim, look confident in front of those who are not Muslims. And you will only look confident when you know yourself, you understand yourself. Allah has created us different so that we get to know each other. He has created those Christians and the race that He has created Muslims so that we get to know each other. We know ourselves and we know them. Without knowing ourselves and without knowing them, we will not have that confidence that we require. Like I made mention, those people who came here from the coastal traders to the Arab traders, the Swahili traders who made contact with the Isa people, when they came, they made contact with the Bisa and they left the traces of Islam. Yesterday we had a question over which masjid was the first to be built in Zambia. It was answered somewhere there very nicely. They said it was the first masjid was in Kaputa. Record has it, when the contact was made with the Bisa or with those Muslims, the first masjid that they made was Kaputa. When the colonizers came, remember, with those two Indians or those two Asians, the first masjid they made was the masjid, those of us who have been in Lusaka, it was Chilenji Masjid. That Chilenji Masjid was made by those colonial masters under the soldiers, the rifles. That was the masjid they made there. After that, record has it that the next or the third masjid that was made was the one we have in Chiwala. This is just part of the approximated history that we have to understand. And it will let you know that that masjid in Kaputa has got a very good history that you need to know as a Muslim in Zambia. When you go to that masjid in Chilenji, it has got also history for you to learn from. One of the first masajids under those colonial masters. When you go to Chiwala, you find another masjid that will give you another part of history that you have to know so that you appreciate yourself and you be confident. The masjid in Kaputa will take you back in history where you understand that the first people who made contact with us here were the Arab coastal traders. When you come down to Chilenji Masjid, it will give you the part of history that when the colonial masters came and the impact and what came out of that. That is the masjid you see there. In the Chiwala Masjid, it will give you another side of the history. When the Yao people, together with the Asians brothers who were there, that was the masjid that was made there. When you come to Chiwala, you know those were the first treks who came from Malawi, the Yao people. When they settled here, this is the history that it should give. So you know the history from Kaputa. You are confident as a Muslim, you know how it entered into Zambia. That is the masjid there. You come to Lusaka Chilenji, you find that masjid in Chilenji. It gives you another type of history that you have to know for you to be confident. You go to Chiwala, that is another masjid that gives you another history that you have to know. We're talking about history way back. You come here, you find another history. We have got rich history. Rich history that should make us proud. We are not here by accident, and we are not here by force, and we are not here, we shouldn't be here like we are not supposed to be here. Because we have to be here because we know why we are here. That history which was happening, nobody recorded from us. Us as Muslims, we didn't record that history. A lot of us don't even know about this history. But a few of us know this history. As Muslims, we need to know it. You know, when you go back to the archives, or when you read those books that have been written about Islam in Zambia, you'll be surprised. The people who wrote this history are not Muslims. And if they are not Muslim, then we should be ready to find some errors and mistakes in that history. But one good thing is they have helped us to see and to understand from where we are coming from. If it was written by a Muslim, it was going to be at least 90-something% correct. Al-Muhim, that history was recorded in books by people who are not Muslims. One of those is Father Felix J. Perry. He has recorded that in his book, which he calls Muslim Association and the Resurgence of Islam in Zambia. You can find that book, read from that book, and you get some of the important information that you need to have as a Muslim. Because without which, you'll never be confident. Anyone will come and break you down, and you look in front of them like a broken-out Muslim, which you're not supposed to be, because as a Muslim, you're supposed to be confident. That history was not recorded. Even as I am saying, it is not recorded by the Muslims, except that some Muslims know it, those who have read. There have been attempts of carrying over from where our forefathers left in terms of dawah. People have tried to take Islam a step further from where our forefathers left. Like we say, then the type of dawah they did was not the outdoor dawah or going out, outreach dawah. People have taken up from where our forefathers left a step further, an outdoor or outgoing, going out to take the dawah to other people. Those days, dawah was not like that. This is a step further that we have taken. An example of that is this that you have organized here. It's a good step in the right direction, taking up from where our forefathers left. But this thing has to be recorded. Like we now know, we have not recorded our history. We are reading somebody else's history. And maybe this is why, Khalid Yassin says it's their history. He says when you say history, you mean his history, meaning not our history. We didn't write it down. Somebody else wrote it. We need to write our own history. No matter how bad or good it will look, or no matter how many mistakes will be there, we need to have our own history. Because if we don't record our history, we'll be lost. This thing we have organized here, it looks so simple, but it's a milestone which needs to be recorded. We need, when our children or our grandchildren, when they come, they should read something about this. It is said, people who don't record their own history are just like a tree without roots. Because there's nothing that will let the people who are coming know about us. If these people like Father J. Perry never wrote that, people like myself wouldn't have come across that book and read it. And I wouldn't be standing here sharing this information with you, because nobody could have written that history. Alhamdulillah, not only from him, I've had a chance, which Allah permitted me, of researching and getting more history from other people or from other books. But this particular book was of interest to me because it was talking in particular about Zambia, how Islam came into Zambia, and how Islam is today in Zambia. So this thing that we're doing today needs to be recorded. I'm happy I can see, tools here for recording, people are recording, and I only hope that this thing that they're recording will go into the archives for a long time coming, so that the people come after us will read this history, and they're going to build up from that history. What is happening right now, for those of us who read and observe, or for those of us who watch and observe, time in memorial, Islam was so powerful. Islam was so powerful that we were ruling the world. We ruled all the world because we had recorded the information. In fact, we translated all the information from other people's cultures into Arabic, and it came into Islam. We used that information to rule the world. After some years, something changed. We lost all the powers that we had. We lost all the intelligence that we had. And now somebody is ruling us. We don't even have the record that we have. Right now as I'm talking, we all hear about the country called Palestine, which is Philistine. In Islam, it's called Philistine. One of the very important countries in the Islamic history. When you talk about Palestine or Palestine, as a Muslim, it is a very important country because it gives you the history of Islam, that which if you know it, you become a proud and confident Muslim. But right now as I'm talking, that country is removed from the face of the world. It's been rubbed out. When was the last time you checked your atlases? If you Google now, the world map, check for the country called Palestine, it's not there. What you find there is Israel, not Palestine. It has been removed, rubbed. And you know what it means when you rub out a country from a world document? It means you are gone. Palestine is not there. Those of us who are observing, it's not something that we should laugh about or smile, because it's dangerous. Palestine is no longer a country as we are talking. Palestinians are being brutalized, being killed, and their country has been rubbed off the map. I am making this reference so that you get to know on what times we are living in, serious times. Right now in Zambia, the last time I checked the archives, the percentage of Islam in Zambia was 1%. 1%. Right now, if you go back there and check the record, the 1% is not there. Rubbed off. Meaning there are no Muslims in Zambia. You and me are not here. When yet we are seated here, listen to this lecture. You can go on your internet, check the percentage of Islam in Zambia. It's not there. It's gone. Palestine is gone. Population is up. They are not saying Zambia is not there, but those, people judge us by what they read. Somebody else recorded. He has written, he has removed, rubbed the percentage of Zambians Muslim. And those people who are looking from outside, when they look there's no Zambian as a Muslim. When yet, we have got this important history from the coastal traders, like I said. And we have got things to prove our history, but we did not record that. We haven't recorded. Right now, the percentage is taken up. No one has recorded. No one. And we were not even very observant to see. Not even myself. I was just told by my friend. When we were doing some part of research, he reminded me, he said, "Hey friend, look here. I can't see Islam. What is happening? That's when I became aware. And I took up the challenge. I started checking the records. Islam's not there. The percentages of Muslims is not there. Children are taught in schools. Those who are taught this time, they won't see Palestine on those maps. To them, Palestine is not a country. To them here, Zambia, a Christian nation, Muslims are not there. We are here physically, listening to this lecture. But in the records, we are not there because there's no one to record those. It is important that we start to record our own history, the way we are doing now. We record our own, we keep our own records so that we refer to it, and the people who are coming after us are going to refer to these records that we are writing. Because those people are not of us. They are not going to record this. And they will never show it. Instead, they will remove it. When a person comes and sees that there are no percentage recorded, to them they'll be more proud and more confident than us. This time you hear everybody saying this is a Christian nation and they feel proud, they boast. They look at you saying as a Muslim like you are lost. Because you are known. Where are you going to claim that you are there when the record doesn't show that you are there? That aside, let's look at what we have to do. This is first step that we have to go. It looks so simple, but I must remind you, this is one of the most well organized. From the name, the conference itself, the way things have been set up here, and the way it has been arranged. If we could go with this, it would take us a long way. Not only that it would take us a long way, but it would help us to take Islam to another level. Islam must go to another level. It has to. Because when we compare to the types of dawah these other non-Muslims are doing, they have gone very far. They are using all sorts of equipment to make their dawah. Yet, as Muslims, we are still in the traditional way of giving dawah. It's not wrong, but you know what Allah says? He says you should make sure. The meaning of the Quran, meaning make sure you mobilize, you put up all the resources that you can to face that challenge. We have to make sure we bring up all the tools that we can. The intelligence, the tools like these recording tools, we put them together so that we do, the counter-reactive type of dawah that they're doing to us. Every day you go on CNN, you see them showing the negative information about Islam. They are using the visual power, where people will see and they will read and they will believe. Whereas myself, I'll stand in the masjid or in the madrasa and talk. Nobody is seeing it from the outside. To them, I'm not there. I repeat, what you're doing is a good job. From the bottom of my heart, I'm saying continue. And I ask Allah, inshallah, to make this step be supported by those of us who are seeing the great job that you're doing. We'll support you with what we can. Anytime you need our support, no matter how little it will be, or just for us to be present, we assure you that we'll be here. And I pray to Allah that no matter what you're going to face, challenges that you're going to face in doing the type of dawah that you're doing, don't give up. Fitna knows no boundary. Fitna can come from myself, the one who's speaking here, or from any one of you, just to make you relax and go down and stop the job that you're doing. Please don't do that. We have to record that we have done, and we have to appreciate where we're coming from, and we have to appreciate the job that our forefathers left. With those few words that I have, I must say thank you for those organizers who called us to come and attend this meeting. And I thank you those of other people who have come from different towns to come and attend this conference. And I also thank those who never had the chance to come, but they were willing to come. May Allah reward us and reward them and reward the organizers of this abundantly. Wa shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.